thank you to Shirokoi for your support on Patreon. Hello everyone, my name is Vivian and welcome back to Temptation's Ballad. It's been a bit for a lot of reasons, but an update came out a little while ago and now I'm playing it. It is the beginning of Chapter 3, so let us see this in-between chapter content. I did accidentally peek, and I saw that it was a character glossary of Hamish and Marrow. What a nice thing. And we're gonna read them without any reservations. Unlike last time where I gave an undue level of shit for it, which, it was undue. Marrow Bonebreaker. He is a striped hyena. He is 45 years old. He's a mercenary captain. He's a multi-class barbarian, berserker, and something. That makes me think that he's good at magic. And he's just hiding it. Good strength, good dexterity, good constitution, okay intelligence, not great wisdom, but he's got pretty good charisma. Fair enough. The coward's rage burns bright and blind. Well, that fits, considering he called himself a coward and he is missing an eye. Marrow Bonebreaker is a legend among the city of Axia for his horrific history of destroying property, owned mostly by nobles, holding hostages of nobles' assets in exchange for better city infrastructure, and inspiring fear across the land in nobles. Do you get it? Do you get that he's basically Robin Hood with a giant axe and a massive hard-on? After wreaking an amount of destruction that even the royal family could not ignore, his merry crew of mercenaries finally settled down after city officials gave in to all their demands and also pardoned the Bonebreakers of all of their crimes. Nowadays, he and his partner Hamish lead the Bonebreaker Mercenary Guild in an honest living of mercenary work in the city of Axia. The origins of this famous warrior is shrouded in rumor and mystery. Some claim that he was a child raised by feral animals in the wilderness of the exterior, while others say that he was a noble himself who ran away from home in rebellion. Marrow alleges during an interview that he popped into existence through sheer willpower and spite. When his partner Hamish was asked to confirm this statement, he simply rolled his eyes and asked the interviewer to cough up their publicity payment. Items. Vox Soror, Great Axe, as we know, was made by Tiger Man. I forgot his name already. I apologize. The signature weapon of Marrow Bonebreaker. This great axe sports a massive blade that shimmers as dark as midnight. Crafted by the disgraced blacksmith Clyde Bessemer. There we go, Clyde. This axe features the finest and sharpest Damascus steel in the land and possesses the ability to neutralize magic at the slightest touch. Quite fitting for a barbarian that holds magic in great contempt. Marrow named this masterwork axe Vox Soror, or roughly translated, Sister's Voice. It helps cut through all the bullshit in my life, Marrow Bonebreaker asserts with a grin. The interviewer notes that there was a bittersweet edge to the warrior's voice as he spoke. Glass eye. Okay. I was like, what the fuck kind of eye? And then it's a close-up. Fans and admirers across the city have frequently offered to craft stylish eye patches for Marrow, all of whom he had declined. His missing eye was a product of his mistakes and misplaced loyalty, and he chooses to wear his glass eye proudly as a reminder of what truly matters. Upon close examination, the scar tissue around the eye indicate that the injury was caused by a magical source. Ooh! Interesting. Cool! Now let's read up on Hamish. Oh, what the fuck? Husband, professional cutie, a beast in bed. Marrow Bonebreaker is no longer allowed to access this file chore. A big meanie. Oh, that's fucking funny. Hamish is a spotted hyena, 44 years old, mercenary lieutenant. He is a multi-class rogue thief and ranger gloomstalker. Ooh, nice. Strength makes sense. Dexterity 19. Very nice. That means he's not as dexterous as Hamish is strong. Or God damn it, as Marrow is strong. Fuck me. Constitution 12, Intelligence 16, Wisdom 16, Charisma 9. Oof. Oof. Become irreplaceable, never give them a reason to leave. Hamish began life as the humble son of a hunter and a scullery maid. From a young age, he was trained in the art of hunting and tracking by his father and brought home quality meats and pelts to support his family. Still don't have a proper pop shield. Sorry. His home life was a modest but happy one. When tragedy struck and Hamish found himself alone in the world, he was taken in by Marrow Bonebreaker and served as his right-hand man. Soon after, a romance blossomed between them, and these two hyenas have since become inseparable. Despite the man's stern exterior, Hamish is rather sensitive and prone to crying. It is a habit that he has learned to curtail over the years, especially in the presence of their son, but it occasionally resurfaces behind closed doors. Marrow thinks it's adorably sweet, while Hamish threatens to make Marrow sleep on the couch the next time he calls his crying spouts cute. Items. We got 3 of them. We got the Cape of Holding. Fair enough. A cape whose fibers are woven from several disassembled bags of holding. I'm sensing a theme. Though he would never admit it, Cole got the idea for his own loincloth of holding from Hamish. Unlike his son's sloppy job, Hamish's cape was skillfully woven over the course of several months and is incredibly durable. The thick cloth is capable of softening blows from arrows and daggers alike. The various pockets lining the interior can hold up to 500 pounds of goods, which Hamish uses to store weaponry, medical supplies, and tools for his wire traps and hunting efforts. During a certain incident, Marrow jumped inside the cape as a joke and disappeared for about 6 minutes before the Bonebreaker mercenaries managed to drag his unconscious body back out. Turned out that it was very hard to breathe inside of a cape of holding. Hamish refused to sleep with Marrow for about a week after this incident as punishment. Many members of the Bonebreaker Guild recall witnessing their leader reduced to tears during this period of punishment. Nightcrest the Longbow. Very cool. Hamish's preferred weapon is a sleek and unassuming bow. The high draw weight allows him to fire multiple arrows with great force over a massive distance. One of the Bonebreaker's preferred strategies is for Marrow to lead the charge against the group of enemies, drawing their attention while Hamish picks them off from a distance. Instead of wearing a quiver, Hamish keeps a variety of specialty arrows within his cape of holding. Makes sense. Wire thread. That certainly is thread. Grot someone with that. Holy shit. Hamish keeps several types of trap wire within his cape of holding. Thin wires for subtle traps, and thicker barbed wires for ensnaring larger prey, and tiny threads for flossing teeth. Curiously, he also owns several rolls of wire made of pure... aetherite? A metal that conducts magical energy and functions as a great supplement to spellcasting. I wonder why he has that. Curious indeed. Cool deal. I like these. You know, I know I said I gave it shit last time. I don't know. Like, ever since Winds of Change, I've been like, oh fuck, there's just more reading going on. Oh hell. But even with that, I need to do better at acknowledging the effort that's put into it and the importance of that. And I do, in fact, really admire and appreciate these bits of character knowledge and like the stats sheets and stuff. It really gives the D&D feel. The person my choices made. Ooh, what does that mean? The Firefly Funhouse Festival. Sorry. The Firefly Festival was one of the biggest festivals within the city of Axia. How many visual novels have a festival very early on in their game? I think you'll find not that many. You know, I dare you to name 700. I dare you. You can't do it. Taking place over the course of 3 days, and sometimes longer, depending on how many drunkards linger, the city is alight with celebration, competition, and partying. Each day of the festival honors a different aspect of life. The first Firefly Day celebrates the present in the form of a sporting competition. The famed Axia Jousting Tournament and Grand Brawl is held to commemorate our rivalry and camaraderie with our common man. All warriors from across the land are welcome to test their mettle in the brawling tournament. Fight amongst yourselves to see who is the most fitting for the title of champion. The City Watch would like to remind all fighters to cover the blades of their weapons with protective wax that festival's organizers are providing in order to prevent the great toe-chopping incident from ever reoccurring. I used to do the Barbarian Pit kind of foam sword fighting at Renaissance festivals. I was kind of meh at it. I have one good feat. It was during a practice spar, and I can show you now.
Yes, Jacob Decker, get in your battle position.
That voice crack.
Nate, turn.
Yeah!
Jacob, do some battle poses.
No!
Nate loses. The end.
Knock that fucker out his hands, bitch! Oh, man. It was nice. The city clerics were exhausted after spending hours magically reattaching lost digits and firmly requesting brawlers avoid any under-the-belt tactics. The winner of the Grand Brawl will receive a handsome cash prize provided by this year's sponsors, House Osmia, who have generously taken up organizing duties after the recent passing of our beloved King and Queen. I wonder if that has anything to do with what's going on. More refined and noble individuals may prefer the grace of the jousting tournament. Participants are required to bring their own steed in order to qualify. The winner of this tournament will be gifted a boon from the Honorable House Osmia. Many thanks for their incredible generosity this year. I wonder where that generosity can... Osmia is evil, and I'm just throwing it out there. I bet they're evil. Rich people in fantasy worlds are often evil, and in real life. All right, we got floating boxes. The second day of the Firefly Festival is a memorial to the past, spent honoring our loved ones who have passed on. Usually the past comes first. Interesting. I do like this is kind of like the beckoning of lovely or something. I think that's what it's called. It's a very touching thing. The lantern lighting event will be held at midnight in Central Town Square. This year, a great mural of our late King and Queen shall be erected upon the town square gates in their memory. That's not the only thing that will be erected in this. Fucking sorry. All are encouraged to attend. Finally, the last day of the festival is in celebration of our future to come. Parties and alcohol will fill the streets with jovial cheer. Remember to have fun and enjoy yourselves. Festival organizers would like to remind all attendees to remain clothed while in public areas. Fun. All right, we're at the Mercenary Guild. Artemi flipped through the festival pamphlet with a giddy grin, her tail wagging impatiently as she sat in the Bonebreaker Guild lobby.
I've never attended such a crowded event before. Of course, I will focus on our goal of investigating the nobility, but I hope we will have time to partake in the festivities while we're there. Do you think we can spare some time for recreations today, Cole? Cole? Where did you...
Artemi glanced about in confusion. There was a low yawn as Cole sleepily staggered into the lobby and squinted at her with half-lidded eyes. The three of them had agreed to meet here at the Bonebreaker Guild early this morning to prepare for the festival, but Cole was never one to stick to a schedule. It appears he wasn't the only one. Sid was also nowhere in sight. Cole stifled another yawn before stumbling his way towards Artemi's table and stealing a gulp of her tea.
Hey!
They looked pleased to see each other. Are you still reading that damn pamphlet? The daytime events are kinda okay, but the real fun comes at night at Rotten Red's Alley, if you know what I mean. Gay bars are always fully packed during the festival. Artemi blinked.
What makes these specific bars more happy than the average? Oh, you're innocent.
Cole sighed and stole another swig of Artemi's tea. Don't worry about it. Anyway, there's something else I gotta ask you about. He spared a quick glance around the Bonebreaker lobby. At this hour, nobody else was around, and it looked like Papa hadn't gotten up yet. Good. Oh, Cole discreetly dug into his pockets and tossed a handful of arcane crystals onto the table. Oh, fucking get out of here, McAfee. That's a little hard to... recent events. Gonna ask you for a favor. Can you charge... Shit! Go back! Can you charge up a few of these crystals with some combat spells? Now that we're diving into this investigation, we might run into that cloaked mage again. Especially me, since I've got the never mind.
He was about to reveal himself.
As a guy with no fighting ability or offensive spells, I want something up my sleeve in case shit hits the fan again. Artemi frowned, confused.
Why would feces ever collide with the...
It's a figure of speech! Listen, can you just hurry up and charge these babies up before my papa comes down here? Artemi pouted.
I'd appreciate it if you explained these confusing idioms once in a while.
She reluctantly held up one of the arcane crystals and closed her eyes. Bazoot! Sharp streaks of electricity suddenly erupted from her hand and darted from one crystal to another, igniting them with a painfully bright glow.
Here you go. I've charged these crystals with several casts of Thunder Wave.
In Pokemon terms, that's damn near useless if I recall, or was it Thunder Shock? I never really did status effects in Pokemon. I should have, but I didn't.
They should serve to incapacitate any foes you come across.
She handed Cole another crystal with a much softer glow.
And this one is charged with a Cure Wounds for when you face any light injuries. I pray that you won't have to use it.
Cole grinned and held one of the crystals in his hand like a child would a new toy. He buzzed with a warm, tingling sensation against his fingers. Magic would never cease to fascinate him. Artemi cleared her throat politely.
Speaking of being prepared, is there anything I should know before beginning our mission today? I understand that I am rather inexperienced with social gatherings. I wish to make a good impression if our goal is to earn the trust of these nobles.
Cole snorted. Inexperienced? That's putting it lightly.
Rude.
Cole reached for the last of Artemi's tea, but yelped as his hand was swatted aside. Quit stealing my drinks! Is this how the Creator's Chosen treats those she's seeking help from? Scandalous.
This has nothing to do with being chosen and all to do with you being a brat, Cole.
On the contrary, your actions hold more weight than you think. You asked for advice on dealing with nobles? There are two things you have to keep in mind. One, they treat their blood as though it runs with gold. Are you part of a noble family or bloodline? No? Then they want nothing to do with you. Someone like me or Sid would be looked at like gunk they're scraping off the bottom of their boots. You, on the other hand, are a different case. Not exactly a noble, but as the daughter of the Grand Bishop, you're bound to get a little more respect from these folks. Not to mention the whole chosen one thing and whatnot. Artemi fidgeted uncomfortably.
Yes, I quite understand. Her Excellency had forced me to memorize all of the major family trees of the nobility during my training. The charts were very large, and I never finished studying them, and the Knight Commander accidentally mistook the charts for scrap and used them in his papier-mâché project.
Are you sure that was an accident?
Of course! The Knight Commander would never make a mockery of such an important subject. Anyway, what does this have to do with anything? Hey!
Cole grabbed the last of Artemi's tea and drank it down in one gulp. Ah, sweet caffeine. And here's point number 2. Nobles treasure status. You're a bit of an idiot, but you're still the Creator's chosen one. That gives your presence and words a lot of social weight when it comes to dealing with nobles. I wouldn't be surprised if a few tried to butter you up and get on your good side. You can use that to your advantage when you're talking to these people. Try and fish out some gossip and news about powerful folks who have grown interested in rubies or power recently. Artemi frowned as she struggled to wrap her mind around the idea.
But surely I do not hold such importance. This is much more complicated than simply participating in today's festivities. I hope we still have time to enjoy the Firefly Festival in between all this.
Cole suddenly felt his pocket shift as Malice crawled out and onto the dining table.
I concur with your smelly celestial friend. Think of all the food that we can sample at this festival. Puny mortal, I command you to visit every food stall we come across. I must savor the many tastes of the material plane. Hey, what are you doing?
Malice screamed as Cole grabbed a large bowl and tossed it over the tiny python, firmly trapping him against the table. What'd that just mean? Tiny thumps reverberated through the wood as the snake struggled to escape.
You should really treat your pets with more kindness, Cole.
No. The two of them suddenly perked up at the thundering sound of footsteps. Marrow Bonebreaker poked his head into the tavern lobby, his ears perked curiously at the sound of Malice's muffled screams. Oh, fuck me. There's so much pressure on me to do this fucking voice right. Oh, fuck me.
Well, you all sound pretty chipper this morning.
Good morning, Sir Bonebreaker.
Cole flashed Marrow a panicked smile before hastily shoving all the arcane crystals into his pockets. Yeah, hey, Papa. We're just prepping our plan for the Firefly Festival and whatnot.
Will you be participating in the brawling tournament, Sir Bonebreaker? It sounds right up your alley.
Marrow barked a hearty laugh and shook his head.
Never. I usually don't do the Firefly Festival.
Oh, why ever not?
Marrow gave a nonchalant shrug.
Sorry, lass. I have this medical condition where I develop this uncontrollable urge to clobber nobles on sight.
My, that sounds serious. You should see a healer about this immediately.
Cole sighed and rubbed his temples. Dude.
Ha! There's no cure for this affliction, I'm afraid. Anyway, what are you kids waiting around here for? Don't pay any mind to an old yane like me. It's a festival. Go out there and enjoy yourselves.
Artemi, Jesus Christ! Artemi yelped as Marrow delivered a backslap so hard she felt her bones rattle. She scrambled to reassemble her loosened armor as Cole received a much gentler friendly slap of his own. Will do, Papa. I'm just waiting for my other lackey to show up before we head out.
Ah, you mean Sir Sid? He arrived and left a long time ago.
Cole blinked in surprise. He did? When did this happen?
You were very asleep, long after our appointed meeting time. In contrast, Sir Sid set a diligent example by arriving and leaving early to attend a training session with Sir Clyde. He said he will meet us at the town square later.
Oh, right. The whole weapons training thing. Cole snorted. Knowing Clyde, I'm sure those two are being very productive right now. I saw this CG on Twitter. I need to stop looking at Shiro's Twitter, as it's very tempting. All of his Twitters, I should mention, are very tempting to watch, but like I keep seeing art that like kind of gives away stuff that's gonna happen.
Now make sure to grip the pole firmly and squeeze.
Sid's mind was utterly blank, save for the fact that Clive's face was dangerously close to his own. His cheeks felt hot as the sensation of the tiger's low breath tickled his ears.
Dude, are you even paying attention?
Of course I am! Everything's great! Just gonna grip the pole firmly and...
Sid jumped as he felt Clyde's warm hands caress up the length of his muscular arms as he adjusted his posture.
You're getting the hang of it. Focus on your stance when you swing, or the sheer weight of the lanius will knock you off balance. When you're thrusting your thick spear, make sure to adjust your hips like so.
Clyde's hips were suddenly flush against his backside as the large tiger squeezed his biceps teasingly. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Oh my god, Shiro, every time. Every update's gotta have this fucking phrase.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, your comedic timing's the best.
I'm sure they're being hardworking and disciplined warriors. You could learn from their example, Cole.
Doubtful.
Cole took a sip of tea and frowned at his empty cup. I'm glad Sid's hanging out with Clyde, though. He could use some friends who aren't the two of us. Clyde's a clever and caring guy, too. He'll catch on to what Sid needs. Artemi blinked.
What do you mean?
You mean you haven't noticed? Sid's been all mopey and twitchy since yesterday's training exercises. He's not very good at hiding it.
I did notice he had been rather uncomfortable in my presence earlier this morning. He was very hasty to leave.
Artemi bit her thumb with a worried frown.
Have I done something wrong? I don't mean to upset him.
Cole sighed. No, you haven't done anything wrong. Just keep in mind who you are. Sid's never been a very self-assured guy. Being near you might be a little difficult sometimes. It's a complicated thing that Sid needs to sort out himself. He scratched his chin thoughtfully. The two of us butting in would probably just make things worse. Let's just give him some space to think, yeah? Artemi stared at him quietly for several long moments before finally nodding.
I don't think I understand. But if that's what you believe, I will trust in your judgment.
Cole glanced up in surprise. Trust in me? Horrible decision, really. Artemi shot him a begrudging smile.
Self-deprecating jokes aside, that is a gamble I am willing to take. You've been a fairly dependable leader thus far, disregarding your cowardly scuffle at the fighting ring. Even then, you managed to do the right thing in the end.
Not really. I've just been doing all this because you're fucking scary when you're angry. And like 3 different parents guilt-tripped me onto... and like 3 different parents guilt-tripped me to hell and back yesterday. If I fucked this up, I don't think Mr. Strikewood or that hot polar bear would ever let me see the light of day again. The knight smirked.
Ah, I see how it is. If you require someone to yell at you to be a good person, then I will happily be there when required, Cole.
Cole grimaced. Is that supposed to be comforting? A deep, hearty laugh shook the Bonebreaker lobby. Cole yelped as Marrow suddenly delivered an encouraging backslap that sent him face first into the floor.
Look at my boy, all grown up and keeping an eye out for his little lackeys. It almost brings a tear to me eye.
Cole clambered back onto his feet with a pained wheeze. All right, that's enough mushy talk. Let's hurry up and head to Town Square for the festival. Artemi bolted up and beamed excitedly.
Excellent! I simply can't wait to see what the festival has in store! Hurry up, Cole!
Hey, hold you. Whoa, there she goes. The words scarcely left Cole's muzzle before the knight skipped out the door like a giddy child. Cole sighed and scratched his head. Today's gonna feel like herding cats, isn't it? Well, I better get going. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. Cole grabbed the bowl off the table to reveal a huffy and furious Malice. Come on, Noodle, we gotta go.
blasted puny mortal, I will not suffer such disrespect. Brace yourself for the day I return the full power, for my rage will be tenfold.
The python's screams were cut short yet again as Cole lazily shoved them into his pockets.
Lively little guy, ain't he?
He never shuts up, apparently. Speaking of which, there was a small pause as Cole fidgeted awkwardly. His gaze danced around the empty lobby before returning to his father. Is Hamish around?
Hammy? He left at the crack of dawn to help track down those rubies of yours. Haven't seen him since.
Oh.
Why do you ask?
I was, just gonna say bye and thanks before we left. Basic manners. Merrill was startled for a moment before his face split into an overjoyed grin.
Oh, my tiny little fam is finally getting along.
Cole scowled and immediately marched out the door. Oh, fuck off. Don't make this weird, Papa.
Love you too.
The door slammed shut with a resounding thud that shook the lobby doors. There was silence, followed by a quiet crack as the wood of the door frame split from the many axe gouges it received yesterday. Mara winced.
Oh, fuck. Hammy's gonna beat my ass for this.